Welcome to Football Planet, your show dedicated to football on Africanews, your Pan-African station. Here's what's coming up.
C'est parti pour les titres.
It's time up for Samuel Eto'o. The Cameroonian striker ended his career after writing one of the most beautiful pages in the history of football. A champion, a true legend, Samuel Eto'o wrapped up a glittering career in style.
Le Ballon d'Or africain.
African Cup competitions are back this week. Last step before the group phase with beautiful matches in perspective. We have the complete fixtures for the Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup.
De la CAF.
And the World Cup 2022, 4 teams have already qualified for the group phase. The other 10 will be known on Tuesday. All the results and the fixtures are coming up on the program.
On va retrouver tout à l'heure dans cette émission.
Hello everyone and welcome to Football Planet. His name will forever be remembered when it comes to African football. Samuel Eto'o hangs up his soccer boots after 24 years playing the beautiful game, 24 exceptional years that have enabled the Cameroonian striker to build one of the most impressive records in the world. A look back at the rich career of the two-time African champion.
The end of a career for one of the greatest footballers of the last 2 decades. Samuel Eto'o announced his decision to hang up his boots over the weekend after 22 years at the highest level. The former captain of Cameroon's indomitable Lions is one of the most successful players in the history of football. He has won an Olympic gold medal, 2 African Cup of Nations, 3 UEFA Champions League medals, 3 Spanish championships, a Scudetto in Italy with Inter Milan, 2 Spanish caps, 2 Italian caps, twice winner of African Cup of Nations, the Confederations Cup and the Russian Cup during his stint with Anji Makashkala. He has also made 4 World Cup appearances. Samuel Eto'o has also won some individual awards. In 117 appearances, he is not only the leading scorer in the history of Cameroon's indomitable Lions, but also the highest goal scorer in the African Cup of Nations finals. Some football fans around the world are surprised that the Cameroonian striker, who is now a businessman and a patron of the arts, has never been awarded a UEFA Best Player award.
Despite not winning all of football's glory, Samuel Eto'o will remain one of the greatest strikers in the history of world football, and it's probably the perfect time for the indomitable lion to hang up his boots.
I need to take a break. I have been playing for 24 years. I think it's time I spend more time with my wife and children. And in a few weeks or some months, you'll see me doing something else.
We now have Frank Gisla Ongen, a Cameroonian journalist, online. Thank you, Frank. What memory should we keep of Samuel Eto'o?
Hello, Wahani, and hello to all Africanews viewers. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you from Yaoundé. So let's just say that today, Samuel Eto'o embodies the very power of the African player who dared. More and more young African players are being asked to dare, to be able to believe in their dreams. I think this is the first significant image. Today, he represents a lot in terms of an ambassador. Ambassador is the second word that comes to mind. He is the true ambassador of the very image of the continent. He supported this continent at the highest level. He has given value to the continent of Africa. He has led Africans to believe in themselves, in what they are capable of doing. The third is simply the unforgettable footballer. I think that Samuel Eto'o is an incredible player who scored nearly 426 goals in his career. He is an African golden boy. He is a Champions League winner. He is one of the only footballers, if not the only one, to have won the Champions League with 2 different clubs in 2 consecutive years. It is an immeasurable list of achievements. So Samuel Eto'o is someone that Africa, the whole world, the world of football can never ever forget.
So, is it underestimating him when we say that Samuel Eto'o is one of the best African footballers of all time?
Yes, it's clear it would be a shame to think that Samuel Eto'o is the only best African footballer of all time. I believe that Eto'o marked his passage in the world, and many people until today think that he should have won the 2006 Ballon d'Or award. which was given to Cannavaro. I think Samuel Eto'o is someone who has left his mark on the world of football. So it would be really underestimating him to think that his career could only be summed up by considering him as the best African footballer. I think he left his mark on the world in the same way as Ronaldinho, the same way as Messi, the same way as Cristiano Ronaldo. He is someone who left his mark on his time and who made great clubs successful. I think he's part of that group of players that made FC Barcelona to relive what was called the Dream Team in the 1990s. He was part of the team that won the Champions League with Inter Milan 57 years later. He gave value to a Russian club called Anzhi Makashkala that we didn't even know. He gave value to almost every club he played for. So no, he's not just the best African player. He's one of the best players on the planet.
Thank you very much, Frank Gisla Ongen. Gisla is a journalist, a CAF consultant, and a sports marketing specialist. In any case, thank you very much, Samuel Eto'o, for all these fabulous moments and these beautiful years raising the African flag high. Let's talk about something completely different, starting with the 2022 World Cup preliminaries. 4 teams have already secured their tickets for the group phase. We will know the other teams on Tuesday. 10 matches are on the program, and here are the fixtures and results from the first round matches.
Les scores des matchs allés.
Zambia became the first country to qualify for the AFCON Under-23. They defeated Congo on Sunday after a prolific 3-all second leg, thanks to their 2-1 win in the first leg. The other 6 qualifiers will be announced on Tuesday, and a lot of suspense. The only team that seems to be safe is South Africa after its 5-0 win over Mozambique. The AFCON Under-23 will be held in Egypt from November 8th to 22nd, and the top 3 will qualify for the 2020 Olympic Games that South Africa won't compete in the women's category. The Banyana were surprised by Botswana. It was also far from easy for the other qualified leaders for the last lap, as shown in these tables. A reminder that the DRC had already qualified after Equatorial Guinea's withdrawal. The Congolese women will meet Cameroon in the next round. In the other fixture, we will have Ghana and Kenya, Botswana and Zambia, and Cote d'Ivoire against Nigeria. The first leg matches will be played on October 3rd, with the return leg a week later. From athletics to football, there's only one step to take, even if they are completely 2 different worlds. That's probably what Caster Semenya thinks. The South African athlete took a chance at football by joining JVWFC, a Johannesburg-based club owned by South African national team captain Janine van Wyk. In these images, she took her first steps at the game of football. Now it's time for the African club competitions that resume this week. This is the last step before the group phase. 15 matches are on the schedule, with the opening match featuring defending champions Esperance de Tunis and losers Wydad Casablanca just over 3 months after their controversial final. Here are the fixtures.
Voici les affiches.
In the CAF Cup, the last round before the groups is also played with a promising Maghreb derby between the Egyptians of FC Pyramids and the Algerians of CRB Risdad. Here are the fixtures for you. And that brings us to the end of this program. There's so much on our site, africanews.com. We leave you with these pictures of Samuel Eto'o and see you next week. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Con Camerun il 10 marzo 1981. Proprio nel suo paese natale inizia a giocare a calcio nel Douala, ma un talento del genere attira immediatamente le attenzioni dei più grandi club. Samuel Eto'o